So, what really makes a building smart? It's not just about lights that turn on by themselves. It's about getting all the different systems, we're talking cameras, door locks, alarms, to actually work together, to talk to each other. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how that works, how security system integration creates a truly intelligent and much safer environment.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big problem that integration is meant to solve. Then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how these systems connect, the languages they use to communicate, how it's all managed from a central spot, and finally, we'll look at where this is all heading.
So for the longest time, security systems have all lived in their own separate little worlds. We call them silos.
This quote, it just absolutely nails the problem. It perfectly captures the chaos of having these disconnected systems. In a real emergency, every single second is critical. So making a guard physically turn from one screen to another to connect the dots, that's slow, it's a huge risk for mistakes, and honestly, it's just dangerous.
The whole point of integration is to achieve what we call situational awareness. So, picture this. An alarm goes off. Instantly, and I mean instantly, the system brings up the right camera on the screen, it turns on the lights in that area, and maybe even unlocks a path for the first responders. That's a smart, automated response. And why does this matter? Well, it's the huge difference between just reacting to a problem and getting ahead of it.
Okay, so how do we actually get these systems to start talking? Well, there are basically two main ways to do it, and they kind of represent a journey from old-school, super reliable methods to much smarter, new-school intelligence. Probably the easiest way to think about this is to compare a simple light switch to a really detailed conversation. One is just on or off, right? The other one can tell you a whole story.
And this breaks it all down perfectly. On one side, you've got hardwired connections. We're talking about physical wires called dry contacts, and they are literally just on-off switches. The upside? They are rock-solid reliable, no software to crash. But they're dumb. A dry contact can tell you a door is open, but it has no idea who opened it. Now, on the other side, you've got high-level software integrations using something called an API. Think of APIs as a set of rules that let different software programs talk. This is where you get that rich, detailed conversation. Names, times, specific locations. The catch? It can be a little more fragile. A simple software update could break the connection. So the big takeaway here is that classic choice. Do you want the bulletproof but simple connection, or the incredibly powerful but potentially finicky one?
All right, for that smart, high-level conversation to even be possible, all the systems have to agree on a shared language. And that's where industry-standard protocols are absolutely crucial.
Let's start with the big one in the video world, ONVIF. Just think of ONVIF as the USB for security cameras. If your camera and your video recorder are both ONVIF compliant, it doesn't matter if they're made by different companies. They can talk to each other. This is a game changer for avoiding being locked into one brand forever.
And ONVIF isn't just a single thing. It's got different profiles that do specific jobs. For example, Profile S is your bread and butter for basic video streaming. Profile T handles newer, more advanced video formats, and Profile G lets the system manage recording that's happening right there on the camera itself.
But hey, it's not all about video, right? You've got protocols like BACnet and Modbus. These are the standards for the building automation systems. This is what lets your security system tell the building's HVAC to shut down all the ventilation if, say, a chemical sensor is triggered. Now that is a smart building.
And this is where the world of physical security collides head-on with the IT department. Active Directory is the language of identity for most companies. By integrating it with your door access system, you create this incredibly powerful link. When an employee leaves and HR disables their Windows login, boom, their access card is instantly and automatically deactivated. No delays, no human error. The main point here? These standard protocols are what turn a bunch of expensive, separate boxes into one cohesive, intelligent system.
Okay, so we have all these systems. They're all speaking the same languages, and they are generating a ton of information. So how does a human operator actually manage all of that without just being totally overwhelmed?
Well, it really comes down to a hierarchy of management platforms. At the bottom, you have your VMS, the Video Management System. A step up from that is the SMS, or Security Management System, which is usually focused on door access. But at the very top of that pyramid, you have the PSIM, the Physical Security Information Management System.
So the most important thing to get about a PSIM is that it doesn't replace your other systems. Think of it like a master software layer that sits on top of all of them. Its whole job is to collect data from everything, video, access control, fire alarms, you name it, and then correlate it all to help you make sense of the noise.
It's the conductor of the security orchestra.
And this workflow shows you the real power of a PSIM. It's not just about flashing a bunch of data on a screen. It's about creating an actual, actionable process. It collects the info, analyzes it, helps you verify it with video, and then, and this is the key part, it gives the operator a clear, step-by-step checklist to resolve the situation. And of course, every single action is logged for reports later. It turns total chaos into a calm, repeatable procedure. So remember this, a PIS isn't just a dashboard. It's a decision-making engine that enforces your best practices right when the pressure is at its highest.
So, where is all this technology taking us? The trend is really clear. It's all about the convergence of our physical lives and our digital lives into one single unified identity.
The big idea here is what we call one identity. We're really moving away from the old way of managing a physical ID card separately from a computer password. In the future, a person's ability to open a door and their ability to log into the network are just going to be two sides of the same coin, all managed together in one place.
Okay, now before we wrap this up, I gotta give you a really important real-world piece of advice. When you build these complex systems with parts from different companies, something is eventually going to break. And when it does, you are absolutely going to see the finger-pointing game.
Your job as the security pro or the integrator is to be the referee. You have to be the one to get the network person, the camera person, and the access control person all in the same room, whether it's a real room or a Zoom call, and you don't let them leave until it's fixed. Your job is to cut right through the blame game and force everyone to find a solution. You become the ultimate problem solver.
And that really brings us to our final thought. As all these physical security systems and logical IT systems keep merging closer and closer together, it raises a really fascinating question about how we structure our companies. In this new fully integrated world, where exactly does the security department's job end and the IT department's job begin? It's definitely something to think about.